And welcome to the second video in the Design Web Identity series of setting up a responsive website layout in WordPress using page lines. Basically what we're going to do, as you can see here, we've got a very basic sort of setup, very standard. We've got the sidebar down the right, blog posts down the left. It's a very common sort of layout for WordPress blogs. We're just going to very quickly have a little bit of a play with the settings and just see what we can achieve. Because it's actually quite flexible what we can do. So just to start off with, we're going to head on down to color control. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the links to orange, considering that we've got a bit of orange in our logo, just to sort of get started. We'll change the page background to black and the content to white. So from there we're going to save those settings, and this is just to give you a quick idea of just how easily customizable it is. These are once again only basic settings, but we can delve a lot deeper and go from there. As you can see, now we have a bit of black background, white down the middle, that sort of thing. Once again, not super impressive, but it is a step forward. So what we want to do from there is say, okay, we've still got a responsive layout, everything's still sort of rearranging and changing as we want, but not really happy with this navigation. So what we're going to do is have a look at a more responsive navigation that has been installed with the PageLines framework. It's a little bit more impressive. So we're going to go to the drag and drop section, so just under PageLines, drag and drop. And from there, as you can see here, you've got the template area. We can select any of these areas and change just about anything we want, any order, things we want there. So I'm just going to go to the header. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this, it's called Nav Classic. I'll get rid of the secondary nav for now since we don't have a secondary menu. I'm going to choose the new nav bar. We'll install that. And that will automatically update, so all I have to do is go back, hit refresh again. As you can see, we now have a black nav bar, which doesn't look a lot different than the other one apart from the colour. But the big difference is, once we resize this browser window, get to a certain width, before you know it, we've lost the buttons along here, but we've gained a button in the right hand corner, so we can click on that and it'll drop down a lot like a navigation that you use on an iPad, iPhone or some kind of smartphone. So that is probably the next step within PageLines framework with your navigation. There is another option, however, if you don't want the navigation to sit below the logo. One way you can do it is to go back in here and just move the nav bar above the branding. We'll just refresh again. As you can see, the nav bar is up the top. But if once again you don't like the look of that, we can get rid of this nav bar altogether. And then go back to Site Options. You'll see here a nav bar option down the left. What we're going to do is we're going to turn on Enable Fixed Navigation Bar. I'm going to save that. And once again, we're going to refresh this page. We'll now see that the navigation is along the top of the page. It looks very much like it's blended into the black background there, but as you can see, as you scroll down, it actually stays at the top of the page no matter how far down you go. So that's a pretty handy little item we've got there. And once again, if you resize that window, you get the PageLines menu at the top. Now obviously you're probably thinking, I don't want this PageLines framework logo up the top there. So we've got a few options. As you can see here under the nav bar, there's an option here to upload a logo. So I'll go upload image, and we've got a little generic logo here that I'm going to install. And just for the sake of this video, I'm going to change the colour to orange just so it matches the branding a little bit more. And then just put that back out again and save those options. So as you can see, we now have a nice bright orange nav bar, which probably doesn't look too good, but just sort of gives you the idea. So as you can see, we're really starting a little bit of customization showing on this website at the moment now. So the next thing I'm going to look at is I want to change just how some of this content area sort of looks. Maybe I don't want my sidebar down the right, maybe I want it down the left, or maybe I want one either side. I don't really know. I can't really make up my mind at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a bit of a play with it. So we're going to go to the Layout Editor. As you can see, we've got a few different options there. Before, not that we're really going to go into this at the moment, but you can see you've got two different responsive options and one static. Obviously, if you want a responsive website, you don't want to go up the static option. So we'll just keep it on this for now. We can go into this another time. But as you can see, we've got a few different layouts here. One is the default layout we want our website to work on, and the other one is the default settings for each layout. So first of all, I want to have two sidebars down the right, so I'm going to choose this here, and of course I want to have a bit of a look at the way I've got it set up. So let's say I want my primary sidebar, SB1, sidebar 1, to be a bit wider than sidebar 2. I'm going to make that 300 pixels wide just by dragging that across. I'm then going to save those options. And now I'm going to go back to my test site and refresh. Just by clicking F5. And now see, I've got two sidebars and the blog post down the left there. So that's sort of just how easy you can rearrange some of those things. But once again, I think to myself, two on the right doesn't really suit me, so I'll go back and I'll change that to one down the left, one down the right. Once again, but this time I'll make them both about 280, just a bit bigger. And I want to make the whole website just a bit wider. So I'm now going to save those options. And I'm going to refresh again. As you can see, we've got one sidebar down the left, one sidebar down the right, so you get a bit of freedom there to have a bit of a play. So yeah. But what we're going to do from there is we're just going to look at how to customize more the graphical side of things, get a background image, maybe just see how you can quite easily get the effect you want. That'll be in the next video, which is once again available on our YouTube channel or on our website www.designwebidentity.com. And we'll take it from there. Thanks for watching.